welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Mitten Wolf.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo.
And I'm Fuji, also known as Fuji.
And this is Sadie, our new addition to Wolf Farms. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. This month's scent of the month is World's Best Coffee, so great gift idea for the Father's Day gift, and got the good smell of a fresh brewed coffee. So anyways, let's get this show underway. We just wanted to kind of start off the farm happenings right off the bat. Yeah, I know there's a no new animals rule, but when you see a face like this, how can you say no? This is Sadie. She is a mug, or a modified pug. She's a mix between Chihuahua, pug, and Pekingese. Is that the other?
Yeah.
And she's 5 years old. We got other new animals that we'll get to on the Farmer Jim segment, but while we were out there, it was at a animal rescue, and we're looking at the animals out there, and we had to go look at the dogs, and look who found us. So she's still trying to get used to the environment. This is day number 2 that she's been here, so she's still a little skittish, and we're trying to get her to relax a bit and
get used. 5 years in a kennel.
Yeah, she's been in a kennel setting with
her mom
and her sister. So she's, I think, just adjusting to the new environment of, and her and Fuji. We were surprised that Fuji had no issues with her. That was the big question when we got her, was whether Fuji would allow another dog in the house. And as part of the getting her, we have 3 days to kind of bring her home and see if it's going to work out with Fuji. And Fuji, she's fine with it. She was like all wiggles and happy and just little whine wanting her to play. And so it was like shocked. Yeah, and Sadie here, she's still trying to get used to the environment. I don't know that she's had a lot of attention though. So I think she's still skittish. She reminds me of a dog we used to have named Dixie. It's funny because we were commenting her legs look just like Dixie's, a real short, and she was kind of a mutt. I mean, Dixie was just a mix of everything. Nobody could tell us what, just the vets and everything couldn't figure out what it was that she was. But she was a good dog, and it took a number of years for her to just kind of relax, and because it looked like she was abused when we got her, and she found us. Yeah, imagine that
rainy day, and
we have sucker sign over our house, and they know which porch to find, but. And so she kind of acts like Dixie did. So I'm sure with some time that she'll get more relaxed and stuff. But
she likes to snuggle on the bed, though. That's one thing she loves. And she also loves these natural balance dog food, but we're using it kind of as a treat. So yeah, she thinks that's pretty darn good, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, the new animal rule is more like a guideline. It's not because I don't love animals. I do. I just don't want to end up like the kennel where we got her from, with 75 dogs and burros and cats and geese and ducks and what else? I don't know what else they had.
Birds. Yeah, we didn't see the birds.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you don't have a no new animal rule. You end up as a animal rescue, and
I really like the jackass thing.
See?
Oh, you called it a burro, huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Well, it's donkey, ass, whatever you want to call it.
It was so cute because it even made the ee-aw sound. You like that sound? Mommy make that sound for you?
Yeah, so we spent a couple hours out there on the first day that we went, and then we went, just a quick trip. I'm like, no, let's bring some water and stuff, because She says, no, it's going to be a quick trip. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed some water, and we were out there probably another 2.5 hours when we went to get her. Yeah. It was quite a while. Because we signed adoption papers and stuff like that. But so far she's doing good. Like I said, she's just trying to get used to her environment. But how can you say no to a face like that? And she matches hair. Yeah, see, I got two redheads now.
Give Mama kisses.
Yeah, she's
not happy right now.
No, I took her off. She likes laying up on our bed, and she's got a spot in between our pillows, and she was in there, and like I said, so she's still trying to get used to it. I'm going to let her down now so she can go back there because she's been such a good girl. There you go, Sadie.
Yeah, we have her treats here, but she'll take one.
Come here, Sadie. Sadie. There you go.
No, still don't want it.
Okay. Anyway, so that was the part of the last week of fun and excitement. Hey, Sadie, you want to come back
says,
up?
I want it now.
Sadie, come here. Come here. Come get a treat. There you go. Now,
and she already had her name, so we just have kept it. And I told Sadie of the Yarnivore podcast that she has a dog named after.
Yeah, so that was part of our
last
animal, week. We had we strayed from our no new animal guideline. So that was the hey, Sadie. Yeah, so she's like I said, she's getting more used to the environment, and this is only day 2, so she's just got a little bit of getting used to the new surroundings. So Fudge.
There's treats. No more treats.
Oh, yeah, the food.
Yeah.
Fujian, come here. Let me hold you for a bit.
So I wanted to show another thing of hand spun that's in the shop that I've spun on my Louette Julia. And this is, I call it oatmeal brown sugar. And it's a Polworth wool, and it's a sport worsted 2-ply, and it's 247 yards. So that's another hand spun.
That's Sadie color.
It is. It is almost exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this is super soft. I love Polworth, so yep. Thought I would show that.
Yep.
So I've been really bad about not showing. So our 3,000 member contest ends next Sunday, which is Father's Day, June 17th. And some of the questions that we've been asked is if we're going to do a shower gel, which our liquid soap, when we get it back up in the shop, can be used for that. It can be used for bubble bath, shampoo. Yeah. It's kind of an, just because it's all called liquid soap, it's an all-purpose. Just like our bar soaps, which I don't think we even showed this.
No, we didn't. We had dogs in hand, so.
Yeah. Just like our bar soap, we use this for shampoo because of how well it lathers and it just cleans, especially if you have a lot of product in your hair. I mean, it just gets it right out. So, and I use that on the dogs too to give them a bath. Yeah. Which Sadie's never had a bath before, and that was an experience yesterday. And yeah, kind of like a wet pig. Yeah. And I do know that one too. So. And then another one was spray mist.
Spray mist? I didn't know.
We haven't even looked into this. It's like where you can spray your, it could also a body spray or that would be a...
Don't know if we're going to get into the perfume type thing at this point. Like I said, the lotions will maintain, you'll get, the fragrance and that'll kind of maintain with you over time, but I don't know. We haven't even thought about that one. In terms of the body, the shower gels and that sort of thing, the liquid gel actually takes a lot of time to make. And that's part of the issue why we had it for a short time at Christmas and we sold out. And I just haven't had, it takes hours of... all day. Of dedicated time to work up a batch. And so I've been just haven't had enough time. It's probably a 4 to 5 hours on the first day to just get it up and running, get things, blended and cooked. You actually have to cook it for hours to get everything to come together. So it's just, I need to set aside some time so I can get more of that back up so we can put it back in the shop. I know there's been requests for the liquid soaps as well, because a lot of people like those, and I do too. It just, like I said, it's a time thing, and so I'm trying to slice out enough time so that we can have it. I'm trying to work it in the next month or so. Hopefully we'll get it, but if things get closer, we'll definitely let you guys know. So keep a listen out, and hopefully we'll have it shortly.
We'll mention it when we have it too.
Yeah, definitely. So.
And then another question, tons of questions, is for us to do a video on how we make soap and all this stuff. So, and that has been in our queue for the video podcast since we started.
Yeah, we've done some.
That's kind of our canned kind of episode. So if we're sick or something, we can pop up and. Yeah.
We're busy spending 4 or 5 hours making liquid soap. We can stick something else up instead of podcasting. Yeah, we actually have done some. I had people come in and we've done classes on that, on how we do it. But one of these times we'll actually just have to do it in front of the camera for you guys, so you can see how we do it. And it's a process.
Your so sexy glasses.
Yeah, safety gear #1. Yeah. So. Anyways,
so that was a couple of the questions I thought we would cover. So should we go into farm happenings?
Farm happenings, sure. Let's see, Pig Palace.
Pig Palace.
It's done. We will actually be showing that next week, because we've been busy with other animals. I
kind of manipulated his time for the past couple days.
Like I said, it's a couple hours here, a couple hours there. It was something that I wasn't anticipating, and so it took away time from other things. But the Randy Coop is painted, it's in place. I'm still getting his new area done. I need to finish some of the chain link around it and stuff, but next week you get the tour. So gates, because
you did the gates, so Sadie can't get out.
We
welded it all together.
I did some. We got the horse panels and stuff, so I spent time, and there was a couple, they were used, so I had to do some welding on them, so I got that done, as well as another chain link gate, because we basically have the...
Sorry.
We have the front and the back separated now, so we can keep all the animals in the back, so the chickens don't come out front and wander around, which they do sometimes. So I had one last gate to put up, so that got put up. So.
And then we showed you Sadie.
Sadie was the one of the new farm happenings.
So I guess we should probably just go right into our Farmer Jim.
Yeah, let's cut on over to Farmer Jim, and he will give you an update on the new animals, as well as an update on our turkeys and our Kookaburra chickens. So let's cut over to Jimmy.
Hi everyone, this is Farmer Jim from Wolf Farms. Thank you for all the birthday wishes on Ravelry and Plurk, and now let's go see what's new on the farm.
These are our African gray geese. They are only 1 month old now. They are getting as big as the ducks that are currently 1 year old. Their names are Lucy and Ricky. Lucy is on the left and Ricky is on the right. Ricky has the slipped wing on the left side of him. That's how you can tell them apart. And here are our turkeys, Squidward and Mad-Eye Moody. They're the same size as the hens right now. And here are our kookamarans that are 9 weeks old, and the turkeys are 8 weeks old.
Bye.
All right, we're
And
back. All right. Ooh,
That trips me out.
aren't those geese beautiful? I mean, they're just and amazing that they're actually only 1 month old, and to be that big. I mean, just because when we were looking out at the rescue place, they had, I think, 1 week old geese were bigger than our chickens. I mean, they grow that fast.
Yeah.
And
then the next day we saw them.
It's like they grow overnight like weeds. I mean, they're amazing. And these guys are only a month old, and you see how big they're towering over the
I'm like,
the
I
ducks.
wanted babies.
Our year-old ducks are, so. But yeah, they're pretty neat. And then the turkeys are getting big. We had them in a separate area for a while, and we actually took that down this weekend to let them, congregate.
Reintegrate, yeah.
So the kookamarran chickens are happy because they've always been buddy-buddy. So they usually hang out. The turkeys would be on one side of the fence, the chickens would be on the other side, and they'd always kind of hang out. So now they can hang out together. So amazing how they've grown as well. So.
Yep.
So thanks Farmer Jim for that.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to In the Coop.
In the Coop this week, I haven't worked on too many projects. In fact, I've only worked on 2. This is my button monster, which is the Rebecca Danger Hugo pattern in the Big Book of Monsters. And I was really plowing through this, trying to get it done for this weekend, but
Wah, wah, wah.
so I had to put out a plurk, and Carrie's coming to my rescue, and which is funny because Carrie's the one that gave me this yarn. And this is the Marhaven worsted in the light heather colorway. And here is my Dicky-Doo.
Now you got a lot.
Yeah. And this is tough on the hands.
Now the udders are really hanging now.
I can't even, I have to back it up just to get the whole thing in the... So that's at least a good 12 inches.
Yeah, you've done a lot of work on that. So.
Yeah, that's it. And it's done on size 5. And this is actually a bulky, even though they call it worsted. And Carrie even, confirmed that. So then the back, it looks the same. So when I get that, I'll be able to finish this up and put all my cool podcaster buttons on it. And
more reason to give more love to your other projects.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, because I can't. And I think that's it. It's in my monster bag. And whenever I see this bag, I always think of the monster mash. Do the mash. We do the monster mash.
Just break out in song and dance on the farm here.
I know. That's me. We're either doing songs or movie quotes.
Always movie quotes. So
we gotta do that. What was that one quote where "Shake it twice for Texas"?
Oh.
It was a bathroom scene in some movie.
I see. Now you put me on the spot. Yeah, that was. What movie were we watching? That was.
I don't know, but I thought, we got to remember that for Lauren and Denise.
That wasn't Big Bang Theory, was it? I think it was.
It was.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. So if you guys don't watch Big Bang Theory, watch it. That's a funny show. Funny thing is, she doesn't realize that I'm the geek. I've got her fooled. So.
I married the nerd.
Yeah.
That's why I got you the flash panties.
Yeah.
Watch how red he just got.
Yeah, I won't be modeling those. Sorry, guys.
Then in my other bird leg bag is my... I can never remember this darn colorway because we had that May, Play, and May knit along, and I screw it up with wrapped up in May. See, we played May with toys. This is wrapping up May. And yes, it's June. So it's now going to be wrapped up in June, too. And this is Desert Vista Dye Works at artfire.com. And I just heard on Girlfriend's Knitting podcast that she has the heart. How perfect. The heart.
We have great sound effects,
Heart,
don't we?
Walkathon. Someone died because I was the supervisor. So informative here on this podcast. She's doing a heart walk-along. Mm-hmm. It's not a walk-along. Walkathon?
Walkathon?
She's going to be
She's
walking.
walking and then need donations for
Yes.
how much. Yeah, that's a walkathon.
It just sounded funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, Desert Vista Dye Works dyed up a colorway for it. And Ka Shirley of the Girlfriends Knitting podcast is going to be designing a pattern to go along with it, and the money be donated. Yada, yada, yada. But this is not that, because it's the wrapped up in May.
Now on to something completely different.
I know. It's what happens when I don't eat before we podcast. And I did this at his ophthalmology appointment the other day. And they're pretty quick. All we had to do is wait for him to dilate. That's why I only got one stripe done. Yeah. So this is on size 1, blackthorn needles. I love these needles.
And then you stab yourself with them.
Yeah, they make you bleed. That's why I keep it in my Slip Stitch Studio little needle nook, and these really work because these and my signatures are super duper sharp, and it does not poke through at all. That's like the ultimate test.
And they don't slip off. You don't lose stitches. Very nice.
Yep. Not much of nothing. I'll get that out of your way now. Switching your coop.
In my coop. What are we calling this? This is
A cloth.
cloth, washcloth, just
Because it's
more...
going to be a felted.
Yeah, I'm going to felt this, but I showed this. This is my longtail cast on. I started this last week and showed it, the couple rows that I had done, but so far, let me get this lifted up. This is where I stopped last week, so I got a little bit done besides hanging out on animal rescues. So you can see
Your stitches are so even.
that's how it's going. That's my purl side, my bumpy side, and my flat side. My intent is to actually use this once it's felted as a demo for the cyanotype printing. But so yeah, it's coming along. I learned a couple. I made mistakes on this so that I'm learning, and Dawn's going to show us do a little demo for those beginning knitters to explain what I was doing, and I guess it's a common problem for those new knitters. He was wondering
why his edge looked weird. And if you can see, especially if I hold it out, only this side have these little, I thought that looks like a yarn over. Now I go, do you count your stitches? And especially, anytime, it's good to once in a while count your stitches to make sure you have what you started with. Mm-hmm. And he has 40 cast on, and he had 43, and I'm like, okay, those are yarn overs. And it's a common mistake in beginning knitting when you're knitting I'm going to have to do it. Okay, your yarn is in the back, and I know I'm going to be backwards to you. When you are knitting, yarn is in the back. You bring it forward to do your purl. The normal purl stitch. I don't want to do that on this because he's on a knit row. But what he was doing is after the purl, he would just, it's in the back. He would just bring it over, which is making an extra stitch, yarn over. Whereas you should just bring it to the back to start your knit stitch. So
So-
that's where the extra stitch on the one side was coming in. You know, yes, your yarn needs to be in the back, but you need to go
behind.
behind.
In my terminology,
Yeah, he keeps saying behind, and I'm like,
you have to move the yarn because
Yeah.
the way I think, you have to come behind the needle. So if you're moving from a knit to a purl or a purl to a knit, the yarn comes behind
Yeah.
the needle.
not over to get it to the back. You need to make sure it's.
And I asked her last night, and I still messed it up. I think I got it right on one side all the time, and at the end, like one side had all of the mess up on, and the other side was fine. So
Yeah. So, yeah. I can't
what are you doing?
stop.
Just stop. I will finish it. It's okay. That's
So,
my
yeah, I just
project.
wanted to point that out, you know, to make sure you're not going on top of your needle, to make sure you bring it to the back. Especially that could very easily happen when you're doing like a knit to purl to. You just forget.
Yeah, you're like, we're telling me bring it to the front and back. I'm like, okay, well, it's on the right. It's not on the left.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
I
It's
told
like,
him, knit, it always has it to the back. Purl to the front, and yeah.
So I learned something, and I'll probably mess it up a couple more times before I get through with that. But I guess I'll have to count my stitches to make sure.
Yeah.
So, and this is being done. Let me find my little tag here. This is a knit and wolf pattern. Nothing
Just plain
fancy,
stock
just
knit.
yeah. I get it. And then I'm doing it with Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. In like what color is that?
Cream, I think.
They
Or
just
is it
have
bear?
numbers. I think they just,
It's
cloud. Oh, cloud. So, but I wanted something light so that if I do use this for the cyanotype, there'll be a good background, contrasty color. So
we did that. Oh, I am also working on my Manda loop bat, which I didn't take it off. It's this bat. I did the burgundy, which is the very outside color, and I'm working on the dark green, and then this orange will come next. But as thin as this is, I don't want to yank it off to bring it over to show. So, and I'm still amazed at how thin this unwinds off.
oh, when you're
Yeah.
talking about the strips, it's pre-drafted.
Funky, yeah. So
Almost like stick a pin through the center and just let it roll off as you're.
that'd be a good idea.
That's why you have me around.
So flown the coop this week. They're all hooked. Everything I did is hooked off the coop.
Hooked?
Crocheted.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I thought you.
And I always wear one of these things around my neck in the summer because my summer dresses don't have pockets. And I stick my phone in here so then I can listen to my earbuds, to my podcast and stuff with my earbuds. And so it's just a little simple. I just plucked it out of my
Thin air.
Because my other one looked pretty nasty from having sunblock, and it was broken, and I had knots in it.
You tied it a couple times, and
so I hooked that up real quick. Woo! And then I did some puffy pals, which I'll link it because I can't remember the name of the designer, but it was from Gabriella, which is Gabriella KOS on Plurk and Ravelry, and I did 2 of these cute little puppies. And I don't know if the little sparkles, because I wanted them to be sparkle puppies. One of them's already flown the coop completely off the farm, and this one is heading out tomorrow, but hadn't mailed it yet, so I thought I would show it. And these are a really fun pattern.
that's crocheted.
And it comes with ducks and frogs and bunnies, but yeah, I needed the puppies for
That one had the picture of like the 7 different animals on it.
Yeah, puffy pals. So that's what I hooked this week. And to market, 0. I was good.
Yarn hiatus.
Yarn hiatus,
Yeah.
yep.
Good on the yarn, not on the animals.
Yeah. I went for geese.
That's still new animals. Still qualifies as a new animal. So
Then
I'm a sucker. She just bats her baby blues at me, and new animals
that's
arrive.
your early Father's Day present.
Justification. Remember last podcast we talked about justification? This is called justification. So
And it only took me half a day.
yeah, I know.
And I thought, oh, we can say it's his Father's Day present.
I love dogs. I always have. I've always had dogs. It's just when we got Fuji, we were concerned about other dogs. Bringing in a new dog.
She's numero uno.
But Sadie and Fuji are the same age, which
Yeah.
helps. And if it was a puppy, I think it would be a different issue because puppies are a little more
And Sadie's,
energetic.
not hyper. And
So yeah,
because Fuji's not a spazzy Chihuahua.
No.
Because Ginger's Chihuahua Ryder, she opens the door and he zips. She has a picture on our group page, and it's just
Running.
a blur. Yes, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
She stays.
She's a little princess.
Yeah. She doesn't like to be dressed, and I have I have a whole dresser drawer full of knitted sweaters for her.
Yeah.
And she runs for the hills.
They're cute, but if you put them on, she looks like she's
In
just
trouble.
like she will not move. She's just like as
Well, she went through 3 separate trainings, and she had a different sweater for each class. She got best dressed, and it would match kind of what sweater I was wearing.
she's a farm dog. She likes to
Run
be
in the
free.
dirt.
Yeah.
She's naked.
Yeah.
So, Squeal Like a Pig this week is Knit Purl Girl Carrie sent me a pattern just because called the Bakersfield shawl. So thank you, Carrie. It's so pretty. This has been in my queue for quite a while. And it's so pretty. It's just a tiny shawlette, so that looks like a lot of fun. And it's a Karina Ferguson is the designer.
You love your shawls.
Yes, I do. See, I need to have a whole shawl show.
Trunk show,
A
huh?
trunk show, yeah.
A video trunk show of all the shawls.
That would take up a whole hour or more, probably. I've given so many away, though.
I should turn the camera around, and our whole room here is decorated in different shawls that adorn the back of all the chairs that are here. And some even have 3 shawls all on them. So,
And that's only this year's.
yeah.
Last year's, they get put away.
Got to cycle through. Change the decor.
Yeah. And then Susan Claudino, and she's also No Knit Sherlock. I love that name. She designed a pattern, her very first published pattern in Ravelry,
Yay.
called the Backwoods Mitts. And she sent me a copy, and she's also donating 3 copies for the 3,000 member giveaway.
Wow.
So you could win this. And it is so pretty. She designed it so it could be used with variegated yarns or with, solid or semi-solid. And I'll show you. Okay, that's just abbreviations. Didn't want to do no copyright. It's such a pretty pattern. She did a really good job. And her pattern's all laid out really pretty and lots of pictures and yeah. So
Well,
I
that was
gotta-
nice of her to
Yeah, and it's written.
provide some for 3,000
Isn't that
members.
sweet?
So a couple more goodies that you guys can possibly win if you give us some feedback on that
Yeah.
thread.
So, yep. It's a really cool pattern. And I don't know how much it is to buy. I didn't check that out. You can check it out though,
yeah.
because it'll be linked in the group. Or you just might be a wiener.
Yeah.
Yes, wiener. Also, I wanted to show, since I'm mentioning the 3,000, there's the 2 bags donated by Apple Blossom and You podcast, which is Sarah, Apple Blossom SF. And then we have the Wolf Farm colorway by Desert Vista. That's up over there, donated by Susan, and then we're donating the gift certificates
or
and
2 or whatever,
3
or 4. It depends. We'll
find out next week. Yeah. So now we're picking on the farm. We're not doing this week because we've been so
animaling
busy
all week, and usually I like to put together something. So
plus we knew our Farmer Jim segment would be lengthier today, and
yeah. So you'll have to catch up. I'll catch up on the picking on the farm next week when I have some more time to prep for it. It just my apology. Yeah,
you've been busy out there.
Busy out there, and spending time at the rescue place.
Yeah, it was more than 2 hours.
Well, it seemed like all day the first day, and then
I got super sunburned, and Jimmy's just really good.
It was a long 2 days of animal picking on the farm. We were picking animals, so that's the extent of it. Sorry, I don't have any photo tips for you this week, but definitely next week. So,
So in the arena, my eye just is twitching all of a sudden. Thought, I can't even read. I want to mention Snappy Stitches podcast, which is Chrissy the Great on Ravelry, Twitter, and Plurk. And she is the host, or was the host, I don't know if she's still going to do, the Manic Purl podcast, which is an audio podcast, has now switched to video, which is called the Snappy Stitches. And so she had one episode, it's out on Blip, and watched it, and it was so cool because I've always listened to her,
put a face with the voice.
It was like, oh wow, it was still trippy, and she showed her beautiful sweater that she's wearing, and so go give her a watch, and you can go and listen to her previous episodes that are audio if you want, and because she's a great podcast. And then I also listened to or watched Sittin' and Knittin' podcast, and that's his handmade on Ravelry and Plurk, and it's Diana, and she had her daughters on her podcast, which it's cute because she has this. I showed you. They each have their own segment: Justice's Corner and Jolly. What was Jolly? I don't know, but it was so cute because their titles even match their personalities. You can tell Jolly, I think Jolly's the one that is doing the editing, because hers was like so much brighter. And, it's like, oh yeah, there's Justice's Corner. But it was so cute, that seeing the different personalities, and because we only have one kid. So it's so cool seeing, and she has 7. How she finds time to knit, I have no idea. I'm like, ooh, you are one busy lady. But it's so cool that she's sharing that with her daughters.
Those are the 2 oldest ones, right?
Yeah, the 2 older girls, yeah. And so I think she's 14 and then Jolly was 12. I don't know. See, I should write these things down. But that was just really great fun to watch her. She has the one episode, and it's Sittin', Sittin', and Knittin', Knittin', podcast.blogspot.com, and I'll link that in the Ravelry group. And by the way, our show notes are in, if you're watching this on iTunes or on the blog, we put our show notes in the Ravelry group. So that's where they are found. So, and also if I've linked projects, like if I keep knitting on the same darn button monster every week, I link it maybe the first 2 times that I show it, but I'm not going to keep linking it every single week. So that's why some are linked. And then some of them don't even have a pattern, like my May and Play. That's just out of the air.
So if you don't see it linked, then go back to a prior episode. And
also, just straight to my project pages. Everything's there too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there you
because
go.
I keep my project page up to date, all my projects that are snoozing or on the needles or.
I think you keep my project page up to date too.
Yes, I do. I don't have that thing on there yet.
We'll get cracking.
I know, huh? So those were the 2 new ones this week, and then I also want to mention some of the charities because I didn't mention those last week, and I don't even know if I mentioned it the week before. Apple Blossom and You and JR Crochet Designs podcast are teaming up to have a joint knit-along, crochet-along to make hats for the Click for Babies, and Fuji digging on the couch. And that has to have some kind of purple in the baby hat. You need to work that in some way, and you have till October 1st for that. There's also Lavender Bear's Tea Time podcast. If you hear jingling, it's actually Sadie, which I'm shocked she's walking around. So that's what the jingling noise is. And she's doing the National Foster Care Month knit along to get toys for her picnic they're having in August. But you have till the end of June to make the toys, dolls, whatever, and get them to her. There's also Sock Bunny having the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast doing the Recovery Buddies, and that's until the end of June too. So some of the, I know there's the Warmth for washcloths, that's till September, and all these are listed in the Ravelry group under charities. So if you can go there and check them out.
Sounds good.
What the duck?
What the duck?
What the duck? Tour de Fleece is coming up, which is June 30th through July 22nd. And I'm going to be doing that with Teen Knittables. And my main goal is just to spin every day.
You've been spinning a lot lately, which is...
Well, I haven't too much this week because I was being good and letting my ankle rest.
Yeah.
So I had to last night. I was having problems. I had withdrawals. I was having spin. I have to spin. So then Ravel Olympics is coming up, and I'm also doing that with Team Knittables because she's doing a toy knit along thing, and there's quite a few that I'm needing to do still. So, and I've been saying I'm going to knit that darn Jerry the Musical Monkey for a year, ever since the first podcast last August. I've been mentioning that.
While.
And by darn, it's getting done.
You got an excuse now. You have to justification.
And I got the yarn. It's all ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cast it on.
That starts July 27th to August 12th.
Okay.
And then I might also, because I have some old FOs, I might whip one out for that. Because there's tons of different segments. And you don't have to be in a group to do Ravel Olympics. You can just enter your projects in the different categories. And so...
Well, that's
something to check it out.
Think about.
And I guess we're about ready to round up. I'm looking at the table, seeing if I forgot anything. So I want to thank people for iTunes reviews and star ratings. And, if you're watching on the blog or on Blip, if you could take some time and go over to iTunes and, rate your favorite podcast and give them a star review. And when you go into search, like if you're wanting a new podcast and you type in knitting, it'll bring up instead of...
Yeah, the ones you like will rank better because they have more star ratings and stuff,
And plus that's just so exciting to see I got a new review,
Yeah.
And
it makes us, the time we put into this worthwhile when we hear back that people are enjoying it and getting stuff from it, and it really does help encourage all of the podcasters out there that do this, to hear some positive feedback. So,
even the messages on Ravelry, like this morning I got one, and it's a private message, so I'm not going to say who it is, but it was, she just said, I'm praying for you, I hope you have a great week, and I'm like, wow, I told her, I so needed that because I'm having a dental procedure on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that just really meant a lot, and so awesome to see, you know.
So, like I said, just if you take a
So
couple...
Tuesday I will need lots of prayers, you guys.
Yeah, just take the time and leave a good comment, you know, and you know, or a star rating or something, and you know, lift up the spirits of the podcasters that you enjoy watching. So
Yeah. And I want to mention, I added this week because I've been missing it, our Hatch-A-Knit for June. It's just where, if you haven't been in the group or watched the podcast before, Hatch-A-Knit is anything you've been knitting and you finish in June, or knit between June and the end of June, post it in there, whatever it is.
as long as it's completed in June.
Right.
Then,
Good boy.
yeah.
And just tag it with Wolf Farms Hack, H-A-K, June. So Hack is Hatch-A-Knit. So come Hatch-A-Knit with us, y'all.
Yeah, and that way you have your opportunity to choose whatever pattern, whatever, you know, there's no...
Yeah,
know,
Phoenix Fire was the first one to find it.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got that dishcloth in, and then Strickland 66, you know. She's got 4 or 5. Yes, I thought, woo, girl, you go.
Well, that's it. So
And then I want to mention the Lady Edith knit along that we're doing with the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit. Kimberly's podcast is going on from June and July. Yeah. I didn't work on it again. I will. I'm being kind of monogamous.
You're trying to get that button monster done.
Yeah, I really wanted that done. Darn it. And I bought a whole bag of fiber fill too because I know it's going to suck it all up. Also, buttons in the store. This one is free with a paid order. You just have to ask for it in the comments section.
Yeah.
And that's about it, I think.
Pretty much. Oh, and for those that... last week I mentioned Dawn's lovely cutting method. So, and we had some miscut soap in the store. That went pretty quick. So thank you for those that that were willing to get crooked soap.
Special.
But I know who's encouraging her to cut some more. I know who you are. So. But yeah, I was laughing about those people encouraging Dawn to do more cutting. So you like the crooked soap. So.
And it's funny because we have 4 batches over there, and I'm like, oh.
No. Yeah. See, I have to after this. That's what I'm doing after the podcast. I'm cutting our next 4 batches of soap, and that way, you know, throwing stuff at me.
I know.
So. But yeah, so I had to laugh about that.
Yeah, you got quite a hoot out of that.
Yes, I did. So no scissors, no cutting utensils whatsoever. So.
No.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for this week. So
That's my part. So until next time. You started to say so.
So let's get cracking.
No, you're just messing this all up.
No, I'm not. Let's get cracking. Hatch-A-Knit.
Oh. I need to eat.
You know, it's almost like she's never done this before.
No, this is all new. Hi to new viewers too. And welcome back to the Funny Farm to Old returning viewers.
So,
until next time,
let's get cracking.
And Hatch-A-Knit.
Bye, y'all.
We gotta do the lurking eye.